Welcome back. From today, Eskom customers will now be paying 12.74% more for their electricity. Depending on what the municipality the consumers fall under, some residents will be paying more than the 12.74% figure, while others will be paying less. For a reaction now, I'm joined by Kevin Mileham, the DA's spokesperson on energy. Kevin, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this afternoon. So in October of last year, the DA put together a petition against the Eskom tariff hikes, taking a stand against what you called energy poverty. Now today we are seeing that 12.74% hike. What's your reaction to this?
Well, the Democratic Alliance unequivocally condemns Eskom's unconscionable 12.74% tariff increase for its direct customers. And those direct customers include the municipalities that it supplies. Obviously, municipalities then add their markup on, and so it's more expensive for people who are living in municipalities. But this is a brutal economic assault on ordinary South Africans who are already pushed to the brink of financial collapse. Eskom is effectively charging more while delivering less.
So how does then the DA propose the tariff hikes be addressed, especially moving forward? Are there any plans in which you can suggest in order to mitigate these increases?
Sure. So first of all, we need to understand where these tariff hikes come from. And a lot of it relates to Eskom's historic debt. It relates to the fact that there was financial mismanagement and corruption at Eskom, that there were massive cost overruns because of financial mismanagement and corruption at Medupi and Kusile, which were originally budgeted at around 80 billion rand each and came in the region of 160 to 200 billion rand each. So massive, massive cost overruns, and that's put enormous pressure on Eskom's balance sheet. At the same time, we've seen that municipalities have not been paying their bills, and on a monthly basis, the amount owed by municipalities to Eskom has increased on the order of about 3 billion rand a month. So we're in a situation now where Eskom is very, very tightly squeezed for money. So they went to NERSA and asked for a 36% tariff increase. And NERSA granted them this 12.74%. What the DA is proposing is firstly a comprehensive and transparent review of Eskom's pricing model. We want the electricity pricing model to review how Eskom bulk tariffs are determined, how municipal tariffs are set. We want it to incentivize own generation and to provide a safety net for indigent consumers that minimizes the role of municipalities. In other words, we want to take the subjectiveness out of the decision as to who is on the indigent register and who is not, who gets free basic electricity and who doesn't. We want to have a standard that is then applied and that this is administered by National Treasury. So we saw in a recent presentation by Eskom to Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Electricity and Energy that 17.5% of Eskom's electricity consumed is billed either through negotiated pricing agreements with big customers or to international customers, other countries. What's really shocking about this is that of that 17.25% of electricity sales, it's only generating 8.5% of Eskom's electricity revenue. And we believe that that needs an urgent review. We demand transparency on these negotiated pricing agreements so that we can see who is getting this discounted electricity, what they're paying for it, and whether or not we as South African citizens are funding international conglomerates.
So going forward, I mean, we are not sure in terms of how much more of these tariffs we're going to be facing. What stance is the DA going to be taking, and how are you going to ensure that the poorest of the poor are not hardest hit when these tariffs are implemented?
Absolutely. We're pushing the Minister of Electricity and Energy, Minister Ramakgopa, to urgently review that electricity pricing policy. We want to see that before the end of this year. We want to see that Eskom tariff increases are brought more in line with the consumer price index. And so that, let me put it in perspective, that 12.74% is more than 4 times the current inflation rate. What that means is that it's pushing the price of other goods and services, other locally manufactured goods and services, higher and higher. So it needs to come back in line with the inflation rate, with the CPI, so that we can manage how much it's influencing that outcome. We need to see that there is regular report backs from Eskom on how they are dealing with financial mismanagement, how they're dealing with irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, how they're dealing with corruption. And we need to make sure that that is minimized. And we need to make sure that all of this happens sooner rather than later. There was a presentation a couple of weeks ago from the Special Investigations Unit into corruption and mismanagement at Eskom. And one of the things that it came out with was that at Kusile, there were a number of transactions that were taking place between midnight and 5 a.m. Now, no one is ordering goods and services. No one is ordering legitimate goods and services between midnight and 5 a.m. So we are keen to see that action is taken, that there are prosecutions, that there are disciplinary hearings, and that people are held accountable for the mess that is Eskom at the moment.